Scheduled. We are live.
Right.
We are live. We had a few technical problems today. And I think hopefully we solved them and you're not getting any feedback or anything awful. Oh, there goes Boo.
Gone through the curtains.
So there's another technical problem for you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about crystals, the healing power. We need the healing power of crystals, and we've got a whole load of crystals here with us today that we'll be talking about. Hey, Boo, come back. He's off into my office. He'll be in the control room. So we'll say hello to people as you join, and then we'll get on with the discussion in a few minutes.
Kit, hello from Chicago. Hello, Kit. Lovely you joining us.
Oh, good. Glad you like the idea of the event. I think it's an interesting topic, don't you, Jane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite interesting.
Agility bits. Hi from a very cold and windy Cornwall. It's not windy here, is it?
No, except inside my head, I think it was a bit of a
Just your head?
It was a bit of a hectic setup.
Just your head?
We had 10 seconds to get sorted. Chandini. Namaste from New Delhi, India. Hello and namaste to you. Yes. It was nice when you joined us from India, particularly. Steiner from hello from Norway. Yeah, we used to have a friend called Steiner before.
Used to. Patricia
Schultz. Hello again.
Hello, Patrice.
From Germany. Neil Macado. Hi, Craig and Jane.
Hi, Neil.
Hiya. And we're going to, if you're just joining us, we're going to be talking about crystals tonight. The USA, where the ice crystals are forming. I bet they are.
Yeah.
Oh, we're pretty cold here, actually. It's one of the coldest winters on record here in the UK.
Oh, hi, Timothy.
Both looking good.
Yeah. Kim. Hello, Kim. Hello, lovely.
From Hedge End. I wonder where that is. Good evening. This is so interesting. Always loved crystals. Sylvia.
Yeah, she's lovely. Sylvia. Ginger tea. Ice storms.
Ice storms here. Is that ginger tea's in the UK, are you? I think. Yeah, we've had some really cold. We haven't had the snow here in the south. But,
good evening,
on
Selena.
either side of us.
From London.
London. Hiya, Selena. Franco. Evening all. I hope they're not getting the feedback from this.
Hannah.
Hello from Michigan.
Hi, Hannah.
Random throwaway account. Now that's an interesting. I christened this child. Random throwaway account. Hello from Delhi, India. Winter is almost fading from here. New fans now. Oh yeah. Winter's almost fading from here. Yeah. It gets really hot in India from about February, doesn't it? Yeah.
Daryl. Good evening, Daryl.
Hi from Cornwall. Arga. And if you're just joining us, just coming online with us, we're going to be talking about crystals this evening. Hello from Cleveland, Ohio. So also, have you got any questions about crystals? Have them in your mind, because we like to take your questions.
Linda from Cyprus. Good evening, Linda. Nana. Hi from Totten.
I thought it was 2 T's in Totten.
Lita.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Craig. Hi, everyone.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Yeah,
you poor thing. What an awful place to be when we're all enjoying the cold here.
Got friends in Hawaii. Ruby. Sairam. Glad to see you again. I have lots of stones. I love these crystals. Some can be so beautiful. Ruby. Well, rubies are beautiful, aren't they?
Ruby's a crystal in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, hi. That looks like a South Korean flag to me. South Korean smile and a heart. Joo-hee. South Korea, I guess. Cheryl, greetings, Craig and Jane. Hamilton Parker, listening from Massachusetts, USA. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Hi, everyone to each other. We're going to be doing crystals. Talk about crystals tonight. Dawn, if you're just joining us.
Good evening, Dawn. Hello from Connecticut, USA.
You live in the USA. Okie dokie. Right.
Okie dokie. Okie tea.
Smashing. Adam, I hope everyone in Britain and around the world are well. Good show as always.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Adam. Tell us a
Adam.
good show before we've even started. It nearly didn't happen tonight. Linda, good morning here in Seattle. Looking forward to the topic.
Rachel, hello from California. Hello, Rachel.
Hi,
City Cat.
City Cat. Hi from Blackhurst Hill.
Buckhurst
Hill. Yeah. Wow. I'm getting older. Nana, I love crystals more than diamonds. Well, you can swap them over with us. We'll make an arrangement, shall we?
Yeah.
They want to send in their old crystals for their diamonds. Hi from Maidenhead. Anil. Hi there. And the topic tonight is going to be crystals, Apple. If you're just joining us.
Good evening, Apple from Switzerland.
I see Switzerland. Yeah, I expect it is. We've even got snow on the Scottish hills here, but nobody can ski on them.
He's watching Korea.
It is in Korea.
Joo-hee.
Watching in Korea. Thank you always. Good broadcasting. That's probably in the middle of the early morning.
Not North
there.
Korea, I hope.
South Korea, but it'll be in the early morning there. It'll be at 3 o'clock in the morning. Anna from Brazil. God, all around the world. We've got the whole world, including Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, of course.
I am annoyed with the people in Fiji, though. We haven't had anybody from Fiji.
King
yet.
Tonga. Because Brazil, they have the lovely amethyst in Brazil.
So today's topic is the hidden meaning of crystals, which makes it sound very intriguing when you come up with the hidden meaning, like my book, The Hidden Meaning of Dreams. So what can we talk about with crystals then, Jane? Because I'm in a mixed mind with some of it, I have to say, but it is an interesting topic.
Well, I love crystals, and healers like them, and psychic people, and most everybody. I mean, I love quartz crystals. I love the rose quartz because I think that's for
You've
love.
got a whole load of crystals
amethyst,
here on the table.
And of course, I've got Celestine over there as well. It's faded with the sun a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, perhaps we couldn't switch cameras there. But so crystals. Well, when you buy a crystal, right, they say a crystal chooses you, don't they?
I believe that's right.
Yeah. Have you ever felt that when you bought crystals?
Yes, I have. I've been attracted to the beauty of them, the light. But the thing with crystals, you mustn't keep them in the windowsill, that the sun, because
some crystals actually will fade in the sun.
Well, not only fade, they can be dangerous.
Yeah, over-energized.
And also with your crystals, it's best to wash them in the sea as well.
Oh, there we are. Put it over that way a bit, Jane. They can see it to the camera. So talk about some of the crystals we got here today, just before we start talking.
Right, we've got amethyst, pure quartz crystals, and we've got rose quartz, citron, and we got Celestine,
I think it was. Yeah.
Jasper crystals.
And your magic wand, which you bewitched me with, I think.
Didn't work.
So we've got a few there today.
And of course, I wear crystals as well.
Yeah. So crystals, what are they? What do they do?
Well, it depends.
I mean, I always think, I think of crystals, particularly when it comes to healing, that they amplify. I mean, if you take a crystal and you compress a crystal, it will give an electric spark because you compress the crystal. It's used in, for example, we've got crystals in the gas. Well, they don't work, but we've got crystals in the gas stove. When you turn it on, and it makes that flashing.
Yeah, it's a different kind of crystal.
They compress the
Same
crystal.
in watches, different kind of crystals.
Well, no, it's not, because all crystals will have a certain amount of electricity in them. So I always think, and they use them in transistors and all sorts of things.
Watches, Switzerland.
Yeah, so I always think of crystals as being an amplifier, so that if a person wants to use, say, crystal for healing or something like that, it's basically amplifying your spiritual energy.
Well, some people, healers, place crystals on all the chakras around the body for healing too.
Well, then because when they put it on the chakras are like most of you probably know what they are, but they're like the spiritual energy vortexes on the spine. There's certain areas of the spine. There is sort of areas that are particularly like almost booster points for the energy that goes up and down the spine. And many people believe that you can modify the energy. So certain crystals will have a kind of an amplification ability, and I think a modification ability. And they use this for the idea of what they call chakra balancing, don't they?
Yeah.
Chakra balancing.
Well, it's like the amethyst. The amethyst is really connected, I believe, is an intuitive stone that opens the third eye. So you'll find most clairvoyants will go for amethyst.
Yeah, they say the amethyst is the stone of spirituality and intuition.
Not tongue-tied spirituality.
It's intuition. They
yes,
say
that's right.
With the
and the quartz crystal is nice because it's quite a positive stone. The only crystal I don't like is a black quartz because I feel that's negative energy.
Yeah, people use this different forms. There's clear quartz, very clear. There's a sort of cloudy quartz, and then there's the smoky quartz, isn't there, which has an element in it that changes it.
Yes.
And they're supposed to be the master healer crystal, I believe. It amplifies energy. It's quartz that's the big amplifier of energy.
Yeah. I mean, celestine, the blue one, I associate with like the moon and the stars and that, and the earthly, and also the universe realms.
And of course, you can mix crystals. This is something they do. So you take something like a quartz, which is an amplification type of crystal. This is much as I'm not a great expert on this, but we'll get some more feedback from you. But if you mix them, the quartz will amplify the effects of the other crystals around it. So, like when you have a wand, for example, you might have the ones I saw in India that I talked about last week. They have sort of like a whole different series of crystals put together, one on top of the other. And it's like one amplifies the other, amplifies the other, amplifies the other, and modifies. So you can change the idea of the energy that you're transmitting. Well, I think comes from yourself.
Well, like jasper like this, I always think that's good for health.
Yeah. So you got a few others there. So the nice thing about crystals, that's just
the beauty of them.
They appeal to people, don't they?
Because the beauty, and actually they come from the earth as well. Amazing, aren't they?
Of course, the rose quartz, which is that pinky one in the middle there. That point to it so they can see it on the screen. That's supposed to be a very calming energy, isn't it?
Well, I always think rose quartz attracts love to the heart chakra because rose quartz is very much all about love, compassion. It's a bit like I've got a tiger stone here, and that's meant to attract protection and money things as well. A lot of people like wearing a tiger stone.
A lot of people use the rose quartz for creating good energy for relationships and things, don't they? They say it increases trust and harmony.
Yes, peace and harmony. It's
creates calm in the home. Yeah. You know, I mean, and all these crystals have all different meanings. The thing that makes me wonder, though, how did they know this? You know, I mean, I suppose by trial and error, but it's still us kind of saying it means that because that's kind of how we feel about it, isn't it? There's obviously no way you can prove any of this.
But it's the amethyst associated with the third eye, where clairvoyants they see purple, so that's why they're saying amethyst, intuition, and the rose quartz, the pink, the love, and the quartz crystal and everything like that comes from the earth and everything. It was beauty in it.
This one here, I use that a lot in my circles. That one, that's the stone I kind of like to use, and I've used it as a. We've tried some interesting experiments. Obviously, it's an amplification thing. So when I was teaching people psychometry, well, first of all, before you use a crystal for anything like I'm suggesting here, you'd have to wash it under running water, basically under water.
Well, I put mine seawater.
Yeah, they say seawater's best. You're right, actually. But if you haven't got seawater, then the tap will do. And I've seen people take their crystals and put them in in Glastonbury at the well there, didn't they?
Actually, when I went up the hill with a group to Farley Mount, I buried some crystals in the earth in a circle.
No, it was with my Aunt Marion, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was with my group. I buried them in the earth, and we could suddenly hear church bells in the distance, and then suddenly snowflakes come. It was quite magical, really. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite a nice thing, even as a ritualistic type of thing. Well, anyway, we tried a few experiments with the crystals, and we were doing psychometry. So I suggested we use the crystal and project into it a picture. So we'd hold it to our third eye like this and project in an idea and a picture into it. And then one person would do it and they'd write it down on a piece of paper. And then it would be passed round the group, and each other person would try to do the same thing. Either they could hold it or put it to their third eye again and see if it would retain the telepathic image, like we did telepathy the other week when we were looking at the images on the screen and things. Well, it was a similar extension to the idea of telepathy, except this time we were leaving that projected thought in the actual crystal. So it's a great experiment to try if you run a circle of any sort, by projecting an image into it and then passing it around and see if anybody picks up exactly the same picture that you've projected. And then everybody says, you go around the circle and everybody says what they feel was on that crystal. And then afterwards you reveal, big reveal, as you reveal the what they written down and what the picture was, the image they were projecting. And it was remarkable because we got some really, really spot on results, like we did last week. You remember when we did that telepathy stuff? We were getting some really interesting results. So it could perhaps retain a psychometry type of vibration.
Now, Francine, I need to know if crystals wearing a bracelet has also benefit. Yes, they do. I wear a bracelet of crystals. So I've got quartz crystal, I've got jasper crystal, I've got amethyst, lapis blue, citron, and it does. You can feel the energy.
Yeah. Except women should never wear diamonds. They should always throw those away, and any valuable jewelry they shouldn't wear because it's far too powerful. So you should go for ordinary gemstones and simple crystals.
Well, perhaps men could put crystals in their belts and keeps their stomach in.
But obviously all jewelry, I suppose, is a crystal, of course, isn't it? A diamond is what perhaps the most powerful stone of all, because it's eternal. It's hard to destroy. So symbolically, it's about sustaining a relationship and a permanence, isn't it? That's why it's used for marriage.
I mean, crystals are beautiful, aren't they? When the light hits them, sun and that, and you have all the prints and colours that come out. Now, you want to read this one, Craig?
Well, Anna's saying, I read sometime in some article somewhere that coloured stones are condensed lights of the universe. For me, that makes sense. I think it's a nice sentiment. I mean, condensed lights of the universe, I suppose.
Well, they are. They're beautiful. She's quite right, because the beauty, I mean, a person will look at a crystal and feel quite happy with it. As I say, the only crystal I don't like is the black quartz one, which is quite rare.
Well, it's not that rare, actually. Most of the Earth is actually made up of quartz crystal.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure what percentage it is.
I mean, I don't like
huge.
I don't like the black one because it reminds me of coal.
Yeah,
I like sparkly things.
So most of the time we're sat on a huge crystal because the Earth is actually a crystal. I think, interestingly,
Craig said I'm right.
But I think one of the interesting things about crystals is that they reflect the actual molecular structure of light, of the existence, really, because they are an expression that comes right from the molecular level. If you've ever made not cobalt crystals, copper sulfate crystals at school,
he's going to go all techno now.
No, it's only simple things.
Right. Hallie says, where do you get your crystals from, Jenna? Well, all these crystals I've had years, and I think a crystal chooses you. So if you went in a new age shop or you went to a psychic fair or something, you're attracted to a particular crystal. And the best thing is to put your hand on it and feel if it feels right for you. Definitely.
Well, she's right. Sometimes they do fake them up. Because what they do when they fake them up is they take a crystal like this one
and rub it down.
There. I'll put it in by the camera there so Dominic can flick onto it. There. So you see that one has got all those flat surfaces on it like that. Well, that could be done by a machine. You see, you can use a machine to do this.
Stones.
But actually, this one I felt hadn't had anything like that done because it's got odd bits sticking out.
I think I bought you that one.
I think you did, Jane. Yeah. You might have done.
I did.
Yeah, I think probably. And you can see where it's broken off at the bottom there, where it's broken off from another piece. But if they're a bit too perfect, then you've got to be a little bit suspect that it's been machined, you know.
And
I wouldn't do it tremendous harm, but I think the naturalness of a crystal is
and it's
nice
like
thing.
this crystal, you have the phenomenon and then you have the male crystal.
Oh, right, yes.
And
yeah.
that, and somebody gave me this because they owed me rent, and I'm glad they
Rent?
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
Does the size of a crystal make the difference if you're working with it such as cleansing?
No, I don't think it does. As long as you're putting your energy into that ruby.
I think the basis of it is, like I say, I think it's projecting your own personal energy
your
a lot
energy.
of the time. And it's changing, amplifying, modifying energy. You think about it, each of those crystals is representing the atomic structure. So it's vibrating to that atomic structure all the time. So the concept of it being some form of vibratory energy would go right down to the atomic and molecular level. Like I say, it's simple. It's mathematics, isn't it? I mean, at school we'd make copper sulfate, wouldn't you? And you put a little bit of, put a tiny something to seed it, and it would grow always to the same shape out of the what do they call the liquid? Supersaturated solution.
Here we go, highfalutin.
It's only simple things. It's the first thing you learn in chemistry, isn't it? But you basically make a copper sulfate crystal, and salt, for example, always form into squares. But if you work enough, you can make huge, great cubes of salt.
Crystal radios.
It will always follow the same thing. Yeah, crystal radios. Can't remember what you have in a crystal radio now, but that's again, it's probably a quartz, I expect. Or germanium, is it? But anyway, it's all about that they kind of got an electrical field to them as much as anything, and an energetic field, and perhaps a resonance on a spiritual level, right down to the molecular level.
Now, Apple says, "Are christening grounded?" Lean over, Craig, or just find out. It depends how you use them. I mean, it's same like last week we were talking about dowsing, and you choose your particular crystal. I mean, that's a beautiful crystal. It's got a lovely energy with that one. Yeah,
I like that crystal because it's been used a lot. And I suppose that makes a difference too. The more you use it, the more it picks up your vibration. Because a thing I do a lot with when I teach mediumship is we practice a lot of what we call psychometry, which is where you hold an object and talk about all the vibrations on that object, and particularly the previous owners of that object, their personality, their character, their thoughts, their memories, and all the things that are embedded upon it. And I think crystals have a very similar thing. They amplify and absorb energy as well as and retain it. So the more you work with it, the more it becomes yours. And the more, like when you wear jewelry, your psychometry is going to be embedded in that jewelry anyway, even in the gold band and all the rest of it. If you want a really big collection, Joan, we should have brought all your jewelry.
Gosh,
we could have covered the table. But jewelry absorbs energy too. So sometimes when you buy secondhand jewelry, you're picking up the vibration of somebody else.
Yeah.
So you would need to keep that under a running tap for a long period of time, or maybe get it sonically cleaned, because that would also take the vibration out of it.
One Uno Solo, a Malaysian lady once told me to get a crystal to hang over the entrance to soak up and deflect bad energy, but sure to buy a good one, put it in the oven. Never heard. I definitely wouldn't put a crystal in an oven.
It wouldn't do any harm. These are made in huge temperatures.
No, I wouldn't put a crystal.
Some of them. So no, I think it's all right, because it's liquefied rock, isn't it? That
yeah, but I wouldn't want to put it in an oven.
You could put it in an oven. But I mean, so it wouldn't do any harm. I've never tried it. Not the microwave. You stick one of those in the microwave. Really
blow it.
Yeah, but so I've not heard of that. But I suppose that's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Well, people like crystals hanging up the windows, don't they? To all the lovely colour. I mean, we've got a crystal chandelier up here, and that's quite beautiful when the sun hits it.
Yeah,
I'll
just move the camera, then we can look at our lovely crystal chandelier.
Can't see it.
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like the light.
Nice?
Summertime.
You see, Jane likes anything sparkly that glitters, and
chandeliers all over the house.
We've even got chandeliers in the downstairs loo.
It's beautiful.
Because you love anything that's like crystal. And I think that's why it appeals to people so much. It's got quite a nice cheerfulness to it,
well, it's
just like having these things around.
It's the beauty and the light, isn't it? And it's the lovely colours. It's happiness, makes you feel happy.
Well, this is another interesting one. My Vedic astrologers have asked me to wear a white sapphire and an emerald to benefit my planets. What do you recommend I do before choosing the crystal stones to be made into rings? Any ritual to choose the perfect one?
The Romans used to like emeralds because it was considered a protection stone. So I link emeralds up to the planet Mars because that's good. The green, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, the green is Mercury in Vedic teachings.
Yeah,
I think.
But what I'm saying, it's a protection. Green is very good at protection. Now, Sai Baba, he materialized a green emerald for our friend, didn't he?
Oh right, yes, yeah. He said it was protection for her, didn't he?
Yeah, it's protection for him.
But when I went to the Vedic, did all my Vedic remedies in India, we had to wear green and carry green when we went to Mercury. So it's also a thing of it's linked to the planet Mercury. Anyway, Chandini, your Vedic astrologer should be able to tell you the rituals, because I know that if a really good Vedic astrologist will give you remedies based upon the planets, and the crystals you wear would also then correspond with what you need according to where your planets are in your sign, or any negative things that need to be remedied. And usually also another thing, I mean, I got very interested in the Jiva Nadi, which is gave a whole load of messages that we put into a book that Kim put together, a fantastically fascinating book that put together both remedies for crystals and also flowers, because you would also use flowers in these ceremonies. And it said that if you use these various remedies, you can use them for any purpose whatsoever. You don't have to necessarily be told by the Nadi reader what your remedies are. You could just use the crystals and the flower remedies with the quotes from the Ramayana, which I always pronounce wrong. But so that was all part of the things that we learned.
And also, I noticed most Indian people wear ruby rings because I associate that blood to the heart.
Yeah. What do you make of Moldavite? I've heard it's quite powerful. Yeah, I believe it's. I've not used it. Haven't got any.
I've got some.
Have you?
Yeah, and I've got a stone that's meant to come from outer space that someone gave me.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want to contact an alien,
yes,
you borrow my stone.
I think it's a nice idea to carry a piece of meteorite. And of course, in the olden days, lodestone, that was the magnetic stone, was always considered as magical. And even and of course, the idea of the elements is infused into the ideas of alchemy too. Of course, we talk about crystals, which are kind of like a molecule of some different sorts. But it's interesting, I think, how the alchemy looked at the materials and saw them as transformative representations of the transforming of the human spirit. So from the dark black stone to the mercury to silver and gold.
This is a crystal necklace, and years ago people in our granny's time used to wear crystal necklaces around their necks, didn't they?
Yeah.
The beauty.
Yeah. Well, there's always a thing of beauty, and I think that's obviously in itself is a nice psychological reason to have a crystal. So if any of you got any unusual things you could tell us about crystals, any thoughts you want to share,
or what's your favorite crystal?
What's your favorite crystal? Yeah, anything that you questions, but also comments, I think is also very interesting, because there's all sorts of folklore about it and beliefs and ideas about crystals.
Right.
Why do certain crystals make me light-headed?
Because you haven't drunk enough.
Blood pressure.
They're trying to tell you something.
I find,
Sam.
actually, like I said early on, that we were putting this crystal to the third eye when we were doing those experiments like that. I find when I do that, it actually, a quartz crystal like this gives me quite a light head. It does make you feel, gives you, actually, do it too much and it gives you a headache, I found.
God.
Personally. So I suppose it's a matter of experimenting with how the various vibrations, how you resonate with it. because just like crystals are kind of different, we all have different vibrations ourselves, just like our aura has different colors and change through our lives. So too, I expect anything we resonate with, we vibrate together with, and we would with a crystal, would perhaps sometimes change and sometimes make you feel good and other times not make you feel good. So I think it's something you have to work on yourself, really, to feel what's best for you and not worry too much about the great lists of meanings. The lists of meanings can be kind of useful because it gives you a starting point. But if you find something that kind of works for you, then go with it.
Absolutely.
I think that's the best way.
That light on?
Oh, it's all right. We've got plenty of light. I had actually.
Yeah, talking about makes you lightheaded. You've got to put the main light on. No. I've seen drinking water bottles with crystal at the bottom. Some of them are bare to the water. Chan, you really drink crystal water? I know this is a very new age thing that's just coming out, and they've got these water things I was telling you about and different crystals in. I don't think that's going to...
Well, actually, it was around quite a long time ago. When my dad was alive, he was a cocktail... He had a restaurant and he used to do the cocktails, and he never called himself... You must never call him a cocktail maker. He was always an anaesthetist. But anyway, I put the idea to him. I said about gem and tonic,
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
You have the tonic and you put a different gem in it.
That's a great idea.
It was an idea that was going around from California, and they did it. This was the Two Eyes restaurant in Shirley, if you're from Southampton but he did it for a while and did gem and tonics, which was just having a bit of fun and gimmicky. But I suppose it's a good idea as long as
you don't swallow it.
Come down. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And gem and tonic could become quite a problem, couldn't it? So that is interesting. I have collected the last 2 years crystal vases bought at auction. One vase I just could not buy, just could not take to it. I still love sparkle.
Oh, well, I think that's right, Celia, because you've got to be attracted to the actual crystal and the beauty and that. And obviously the second vase you couldn't take to it. It might have given off negative energy. There was something about it. Perhaps you had it previous if you bought it at an auction.
They also say that the crystals also will connect with your star sign or your birth date, because sometimes that's different to the star sign. So that's another thing that you might think about.
But Sylvia likes horses.
Yeah, but I always think the thing to do is to go with what you like, really.
Absolutely. I like you, Craig.
I was going to say, what you like is diamonds. That's a problem. And I would suggest the cheaper the better.
No.
It's obviously more powerful.
No.
Because she's got to be humble,
God.
A humble thing.
Oh,
thanks, Joe, is it, for the super sticker? Thanks. Good on you, mate.
You would get me wearing runner beans necklace.
Yeah, pure glass is the best. Glass is the best. Genuinely fake diamonds. That's what you can have, Jane. Linda's saying, what do crystals mean when you dream about them?
Well, interpretation of a dream with crystal does mean a lot. Ben, what crystals do you dream about?
I would have said a crystal would be symbolic.
Yeah, purity, light.
It's a pun.
If it's quartz crystal, purity and the light.
Yeah, it could well be. It could be a pun, couldn't it? Crystal clear, seeing things clearly. Right. Or it could be, so there's quite often dreams will use puns and twists on phrases. And a crystal might even represent something else in your life. Could even be, you might know someone called Crystal, or it might show order and form and coming to... You see, another thing that's very powerful in dreams is this idea of mandalas, which Carl Jung was very interested in. And in a way, a crystal is a bit like a mandala. It's a geometrical shape. So therefore, it could represent for you harmony, peace, and coming to an orderly state. And also sometimes finding treasure in dreams is also connected with that too. It's inner treasures and finding inner powers and creativity, for example. The Duchess of Cambridge, God bless her, always wears Diana's superb sapphire.
No, she doesn't, because I've got it. I've got it. I've got it.
I've lost the but this ring is full of difficult memories. What do you think about that?
I've got it.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. I mean, you carry with you
It's funny.
An energy.
It's funny because Cancerians always go for sapphires for some reason.
I can't remember.
Oh, she's Cancerian, Princess Diana was.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure the stone for. I don't remember the stones for each one.
Should be pearl for Cancerians.
Yeah,
the crab.
It probably is. Yeah. Yes, maybe. I'm not sure. But I would have said that's probably quite right what she said there, because you do, like I was saying before, they carry an energy. So this is why I gave up pulling rings off corpses, because they were no good vibratory wise.
You put them on your toes instead.
But they
didn't call you crystal boy for nothing.
But they carry the vibration of the person that's had it before you. So an unhappy marriage ring, for example, would not be a good engagement ring, would not be a good one to buy, would it? You'd have to, like I say, change the vibration of it. Some people even use smudging with it
to clear negativity.
And some people will use clear it with sound, particularly, like
singing bowls
and things like that, and water and seawater, like you say, cleanses. And I would have said, like I said before, cleaning it sonically would pretty much wipe vibration out of the thing, certainly on one level of vibration.
I don't think it's a good idea to put crystals in a dishwasher.
No, I would have thought not.
Do you want to answer this?
The atomic shaped crystals have, on a molecular level, and the density of the matter makes each crystal unique and makes each one either receive or transmit its own sort of energy into or out of its actual physical surroundings. Well, I think the shape is always determined by the molecular structure, isn't it? By the I've forgotten what the name of it is in chemistry and physics, is it? I can't remember the name of it. A long time ago. A long time ago. But allotropies, isn't it? And they change according to some crystals. For example, the most fascinating one is water itself. Because if you think about a snowflake, every snowflake is different. It almost becomes a bit like the way a fractal piece of mathematics works. So fractal will create a code, and it will make another thing, and it'll make another, and it goes on infinitely, creating these fantastic, beautiful, crystalline-like shapes. And snowflakes, I suppose, are very similar to that. And every snowflake is different. And it makes me wonder, what is it that triggers one snowflake to be different to another? You know, why don't they all form the same patterning? And I often great lover of this idea of the memory of water, you know, that water maybe retains energy, you know,
and in the rivers,
and every droplet of water, every bit of water is carrying a vibration of some sort, and maybe that vibration dictates each snowflake, you know, just like a little bit of a seeded, like with a little fractal geometry, and it just goes into these incredible shapes. So so they are fascinating things, because you know, they're going right down to the very basics of the existence, aren't they? Right down to this atomic world, and maybe even to the subatomic world. Maybe in the subatomic world, there's crystals of some sort.
Ginger tea. Do you think crystals have a healing power? I think they do, because if you've got a healer holding a crystal and they're actually doing that for the power of good, and perhaps going around the body of a patient or putting it there, they're actually transmitting that healing energy and coming from that crystal.
Yeah, like I said, I think it amplifies energy, really, doesn't it? That's the whole idea of a crystal.
And have you thought that royalty, they always have precious stones, don't they, in their crowns and things, and popes, all these lovely stones?
Well, we've obviously valued them since the beginning of time, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because some of the early tombs that they have had crystals in. Yeah. Just trying to think of some examples, because there were. I'm not sure when the.
Do you remember? I think we went to Italy, and there was actually people that had fingers. All the fingers were chopped off in this great big glass container, and they had all rings of precious stones on.
Where was that?
That was in Italy, when we went to a place in.
In Sicily.
No, it might have been Sicily.
Yeah, it was fascinating, some of those things.
So they couldn't get the rings off the old bishop or the pope's rings, so they cut and chopped them off.
I forgot about that.
Do you remember? And I thought, what a strange thing to do.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, there's also, I suppose, there's as many negative vibrations associated with precious stones and as there is with anything else. Did the indigenous people wear turquoise stones, and what's the significance?
Well, always turquoise stones is with North American Indians, isn't it? And silver.
Yeah, the turquoise. Yeah, turquoise was particularly. Yes,
Powerful
the American
stone.
Indians. Yeah, they did wear turquoise, and they still make a lot of turquoise.
Did the Incas?
Might have done. And turquoise was, yes, it was used a lot in South America.
I'm
not sure the significance or what their symbolism was for it.
Power.
But sometimes the most revered stones are often red. You know, that's why they used to put the red clay on the faces, didn't they, of the dead in the times of the when they did burials, because it's symbolic of blood and therefore symbolic of life. And so all these things have a lot of symbolic significance, and I don't really know what the symbolic significance of turquoise is.
I know North American Indians always go for it because they felt a power, the blue, the sky, the sky, Craig, because they always, if anyone died, like eagles and buffalo, they always pointed to the sky.
Yeah. Blue. And lapis lazuli was always considered as a beautiful and also a holy stone.
Yeah.
And they used it in the paintings. Titian, for example, his paintings were expensive, mainly because he put so much blue sky in. And that blue sky, I believe, was using the pigment with egg tempera to make the make the blues.
I believe the paintings of Christ they had lapis blue.
Yeah, lapis. So lapis, and also the poems of Yeats have about the lapis, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, lapis lazuli is a lovely stone, and when you get the green lapis lazuli too, don't you? You get I haven't got any here, but I think it's a very beautiful stone because it's full of so many
all
tones.
Stones mean things. The Chinese like jade, don't they? It brings good fortune and good luck. So jade. And like the coral stones.
Jade is always considered fantastically valuable in China. It comes up even in the I Ching. You know, like I do a lot with the I Ching. It talks about the cauldron, the ting of cauldron has jade carrying rings, because you could carry a hot pot of food with jade handles, and the jade would not take the heat. The heat wouldn't go through it. But if you had gold handles or you had brass handles, your hands are going to burn. So they always consider jade as being very special,
and they
magical
the Chinese women use rose quartz and jade rollers. It's meant to get out the lines in the face. Yeah,
order me some.
Half a dozen. Right. Justin's asking, how much would crystals cost? It depends where you get them. I mean, you could pay like £30 for this, or you could pay, I mean, where you come from, Brighton, Justin, I'm sure they've got new age shops there and crystals there that you could buy some.
Yeah, I think obviously
it depends.
You just got to hunt around, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, how much
if you've got what they call a cathedral crystal, which is, you know, really sort of like this shape but high, you could pay up to £1,000.
Yeah, those great huge.
I mean, this one would be, I had a good deal with this one. This one would have been £80. This one somebody gave me for rent.
Rent? What do you mean rent? We don't only rent.
Well, we did when I organised psychic fairs.
Oh, okay. So they could have their stand. I expect you could. That's going back.
Yeah, I expect you, Justice, could even go when it opens. TK Maxx, I've known them to do some crystals.
Actually, they've had some really cheap ones there, haven't they?
You get for £10.
Fantastic vibrations on it
Maxx,
as well.
They've got them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I think I got this one at TBAT, and that would have been about £30.
Yeah. 30 quid.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's got a ticket on the bottom.
What's it say?
Yeah. You're almost there.
What is it?
£24.99.
Oh, there's a bargain for you. There you go.
Yeah. But you've got to be a bit cautious with all these things, because, you know, particularly you buy them online, you get a beautiful looking crystal and it comes and it's minuscule or something, you know.
Yeah.
And you also, like I say, they do
I think with
fake them up by
I think
them to make
Justin, you would have to have a tiger stone, because I know you do boxing and that protection. That's what I see.
That's a good powerful stone.
I think for you, you need it on a silver chain, and then just no more than perhaps a little bit smaller than this. You should be able to get that easily for about £10 or £15. But if you have a real silver chain, it would be a bit more.
Yeah, and again, it's always about what you feel best with too. You don't have to just have the most expensive, what you're drawn to. Hi, sorry, my question is not about crystals, ha 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 ha, but I really like that thing, decoration behind you. Is it a lamp or some other decoration? No, it's a visitor from outer space, actually. It won't go away.
No, I bought that in a designer's shop. I liked it. Craig didn't. I did, but I don't listen to men anyway. But it's like a sea urchin.
It looks like a sea urchin, yeah. And it says things at night and it controls my mind.
No, it doesn't. No, I got that in a designer's shop.
Yeah, it's quite
Chichester.
Nice. It's on a
stand. Chichester.
Stone sort of stand.
Yeah, stone.
It's nice though. It's nice actually. I didn't like it at first, but I do now.
But you don't listen to men. You have nothing if you listen to men.
No.
They don't like change. What's this?
You can buy a bag of gemstones quite cheaply on eBay. Yeah, and you can even tumble your own. Actually, you can just get a stone tumbler.
And I think at Dorset, when people go to that, what's that place that Willow likes? Black Chine.
No.
In the gift shop, they have those tumble stones.
We're talking about down by Durban Door, Larwood Cove.
There's where all the fossils are. They sell bags of them, and I think they're less than £5.
I remember when we were kids, I used to go out cycling with my cousins, right? And I decided I wanted to investigate crystals and minerals, right? And we were cycling, it was real like Five Go Mad in Dorset, and we're going everywhere with our shovels trying to dig up on beaches to see if we could find crystals and things. So I wanted to make this collection. And then I remember we came to a shop that said ices and minerals. But little we know it meant mineral waters, I remember that. Anyway, I'm going off on some tangent here, but it's I got really quite interested quite young actually. I had a set for Christmas once when I was about 13 or 12 or something.
Ed Bland, I used to hunt for Christmas, but I wrecked my Harley and died. Oh God.
Harley, okay.
Motorbike.
Yeah, your crystal's so beautiful and
shiny.
Thank
you, Justin. Thank you.
I didn't put the light on, so they don't glitter as much as they should do. I'm going to put that light on.
Put that light on. Me. If you're going to show them, show them. There we go. They are nice.
See, they show up.
I've got a load more crystals and a lovely sitting Buddha upstairs.
I'll make the camera a little bit closer. I'll come in front of the thing, but then people can see them then. Yes, they are quite nice crystals you've collected there, aren't they?
I must get some cathedral ones there.
So you can see our hidden cameras around us there you go. Can I ask, please, says Ruby, if you buy stones from somebody who has used these stones already, is it a good thing?
I think you can do that, but cleanse them in seawater, so it's got your vibration, then hold it for a while. I'd say hold it for a good 10 or 15 minutes, and then so it picks up your energy.
Yeah, and again, you cleanse it like we were talking about before with all the different ways you can cleanse it, I think. And that's probably the best. Take it down to the seaside and put it in the sea for a while and let the sea do its work, I think would be a possible way too.
Water's spiritual, it's cleansing and it's clear spiritual.
So have you got any interesting facts about script that any of you know? I'd be interested to hear. What do you think of scalar energy?
Just turn around and say you don't.
I don't know what we mean by scalar energy. So there we go. I can make something up.
You know about Eon.
Happy New Year. Happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Happy Year of Ox.
And some of you, if you've not looked already, I've put the Chinese signs for the Year of the Ox up on videos as well. If any of you are interested in Chinese astrology, it's up there.
It does work. It's quite good.
Don't forget to subscribe, guys, as well, because if you do that, you'll obviously be able to see all the videos as they come up. And I don't think YouTube's so good at informing people nowadays. It tends to I don't think it sends an email in quite the same way it did before. They do different things. But if you subscribe and you click the little bell, that will make sure that you get a bit more of likelihood of seeing our announcements. And you can always come and also join our Facebook page as well, because if you miss it on YouTube, you can spot it on Facebook. So there you go. Last questions, because later on we're going to have a little break in a moment, and then chat with Domenico about other ideas and anything else. So you can ask your last question. Is there anything else that's important to you too? I don't mind what we ask about towards the end, particularly because we've kind of covered the topic in most ways.
Yes.
You know, if you're patrons on the site as well, which is always appreciated, because those that are helping with the patrons are able to post your questions on there. If you have anything you want to ask me on there, and I'll try to cover those things as well for you. And if we're trying to also, if you look in the description below, you can see we're also now trying to raise funds for our spiritual center. We're going to set about that a bit more seriously, and we've set up a GoFundMe page if you'd like to help.
And then you can actually meet us in person and perhaps join in some workshops.
Well, that's the whole idea. Ultimately, we would like to be able to do our work at a place where we can invite you all and do as much as we can without having to sort of keep thinking about how we're going to pay for this all the time. We've got some center we can do our work for free with people, and you'll be able to come and join us, and you know, we can share all our thoughts together. And
I might even make a crystal fountain.
Yeah. So last questions now then, folks, and because we'll be having an intermission for about 5 minutes, and then later on at the end of the show we carry on, just have an after show chit chat with Domenico, and it's just sort of just us chatting and having a cup of tea basically.
Yeah, this one.
So today's date is a mirror image of the numbers. Yes, I noticed this. It made me wonder if you've ever found numerology useful. I think numerology is very interesting. You know that Isaac Newton spent the last years of his life completely fascinated and involved in numerology. And I also find magic of squares really interesting. Magic squares.
We saw those too in Seville, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at the I Ching, for example, and that was the first, that was the first system of binary mathematics. They were well ahead of, was it Leipzig that invented binary mathematics? But they were well ahead of the West. And they in the Ching, they have these arrangements of the hexagrams in squares, and then the squares within squares within squares, always adding up to an agreed certain numbers on each section. So these are kind of like almost spirals of magic numbers. And when you look at these kind of sequences of numerology, it kind of links in with the idea of crystals too, in a way, and like fractals. There's this kind of way things unfold, you know, in a really strange sort of. So yes, I think there's a lot in numerology. Perhaps we should do a show on that sometime. Would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yes, very interesting.
If you put them in the ocean, better use a mesh bag or something, or they will get lost in the sand. Yes, particularly if they're small. That's not a bad point.
Yeah, I think hold them in the hand and that. So you could
easily lose them though.
You could but if you had, say, if you had something like this, you just hold it in the hand and then just put it under the water, and the waves come over.
But a lot of people use small crystals, don't they? They carry
I think that's a good idea.
To understand the true nature of the universe, one must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that was said by Tesla. Wow. Tesla was one hell of a guy, wasn't he? I mean, so well ahead of his time. And he's right. He's absolutely right. That it's vibration behind everything. So join us on our Facebook page. I see the message. That's a new message. I haven't spotted that one before. Join us on our Facebook page too, because you can always interact with us there a little bit too. And of course, I always answer any questions anybody ever asks on the patron pages. I'll always answer any questions that people ask there, particularly if they're public ones. And I always like to share ideas on that format as well. So yes, he's got a new message up, a long one. So I suppose we're coming to the close of this part now, I think, because we've had our last questions. It looks like if there's no more questions, Domenico, who's in the background there doing all the hard work, and you'll see Domenico in a moment. We're going to have a break for about 5-minute interlude, so you can get enough time to make a cup of tea and have a wee.
Okay.
And you can come
Take
back
your mic off.
and we'll have a little chat afterwards with Domenico, just a sort of like after show chat, and we'll talk together and take some of your questions, but it's less formal than this. It's just a chit chat. So we'll be back soon. See you soon.
Ciao.
Would you like to know more about the paranormal world? Craig Hamilton Parker's books are now available on Amazon. Explore the future. Discover what happens after death. Unlock the secrets of your dreams. Learn to develop your own psychic skills. Would you like a personal psychic reading? Visit psychics.co.uk for quality international readings with Craig and his team of clairvoyants. Improve your life and find the path to a better future. You can book readings by phone or email. For a quality reading, visit psychics.co.uk now. They are the real deal.
Right, just waiting for Craig to come back with that cup of tea. He's taking his time. We're on, Craig.
Yeah, I know. I think I was just thinking I should allow a few more minutes.
Thank you.
Don't want to make a mark. Just enough time to make a tea.
Right. Oh, you've got biscuits as well.
So hi everyone again, and we're live again, and this time we're now talking just the after show with Domenico, and see how we get on. I'm going to turn this other one here off because this is annoying.
Yeah, I like the graphics in the background, what Domenico done. You didn't see what he'd done, did Domenico?
I did those graphics.
Oh, did you? Oh, well, I like them, Craig. I
put them together quickly.
Yeah, I know Domenico's clever in doing all
Let's
that.
see if I can get out this somehow.